Imagine waking up and your day already moved without you. Not because you're productive, but because as a system you built just pressed play. You didn't argue, you didn't hesitate. You just moved before your brain had a chance to stop you. That's not willpower, that's not motivation. That's architecture. Your life already runs on systems: sleep, scroll, delay. The only question is, who wrote the script? Because if you didn't, your environment did. And unless you redesign the code, you'll keep running loops you never chose. This isn't about goals or effort, it's about automation, built on purpose. And today, you start writing the version that finally moves you forward. Welcome to No Brain, Fix Habit. This isn't another motivational channel. We dissect your brain and question your life. Here we mix behavioral science with brutal honesty to rebuild habits that actually last. If you're tired of surface-level hacks and ready to rewire from the root, you're home. Part 1. Why you need a system that moves before you do. You don't need a better plan. You need a system that moves before your doubts wake up. Because once you hesitate, the loop wins, and you're back where you always start. That's why the best performers don't wait to choose. They automate the start. Not with effort, but with engineered default. The gym shoes aren't in the closet, they're at the door. The writing app isn't buried in folders, it's the first thing that opens. Study, Carnegie Mellon, 2019. Preloading cues increase task follow-through by over 70%. The trick isn't try harder, it's remove choices. Because the more choices you face, the more time your brain spends defending the old ones. Your brain doesn't hate effort, it hates uncertainty. And a good system makes action feel inevitable, not optional. No more convincing. Just click, step, go. Study UCL Habit Formation Lab 2021. Repetition plus reduced friction forms automatic execution paths. That's why brushing your teeth doesn't feel like discipline. It's not a choice, it's just what happens next. You can build the same with anything, but it starts with designing the first 10 seconds. No decisions, no prep, just slide straight in. Study, MIT Cognitive Systems 2020. The brain responds 2x faster to predictable microcues than abstract goals. That's the edge. Predictable action, not inspired plans. A checklist taped to the mirror beats a brilliant idea trapped in your head. And the moment it starts without you is the moment you finally get out of your own way. You don't need to feel ready, you need to feel pulled. And the right system, built right, does the pulling for you. In Part 2, we'll break down how to build that kind of system, brick by brick. Part 2. Why systems fail, even before you do. Most systems don't fail because they're wrong. They fail because they're too weak to survive the moment. Your system might look perfect on paper, but real life doesn't run on paper. In real life, your alarm goes off, and your brain says, not today. In real life, your checklist gets buried under noise, stress, and 14 browser tabs. The moment your system needs to step up, it falls apart. Because it was built for logic, not for pressure. You don't need a logical plan, you need a resilient one. Resilient systems don't break under stress, they bend and reroute. But most people build brittle systems, rigid, precise, and doomed to crack. They expect perfect mornings in an imperfect world. That's why you miss one habit and the whole thing collapses. Systems need margins, buffers, a built-in plan B. Otherwise, your system isn't supporting you, it's waiting to punish you. And that's not a system, that's a trap. Study, University of Chicago, 2020. Systems with 15% slack time were 3x more sustainable than rigid plans. So instead of planning everything, design your system to adapt when things break. Because they will break. It's not an if, it's a when. The best systems don't expect perfection, they're built to recover. Recovery isn't plan B, it's part of plan A. That's how elite athletes, special ops, and even pilots train. Recover fast or fail fast. Study, U.S. Navy Research, 2019. Micro-recovery training improved consistency under pressure by 42%. So if your system can't bend, reroute, or breathe, it won't survive. The question isn't, is my plan smart? The real question is, can it take a hit? Because your day will hit back, hard, and only a strong system hits back harder. In Part 3, we'll design that kind of system, starting from its invisible foundation. Part 3, train the trigger, not the task. You don't need more discipline, you need fewer decisions. The real key isn't willpower, it's what starts your system. Every action you take is preceded by a trigger, seen or unseen. And if you don't design the trigger, the world will design it for you. That's why you scroll without thinking, or snack without deciding. It's not impulse, it's poor design. Study, MIT Human Behavior Lab 2019. Environmental cues account for over 45% of unplanned actions. Want to write? Don't decide to write. Create a trigger that says, it's time. Maybe it's a sound, a light, a timer, a motion. The best system doesn't ask you to act, it tells you to. And if the signal is clear enough, the body obeys before the brain resists. Study, University of Chicago 2021. Physical cues override hesitation 3x faster than verbal self-prompts. You don't need motivation, you need a pattern. And every pattern starts the same way, with a trigger that fires automatically. So don't just plan the task, plan what triggers the task. Your system should whisper, now, hear this. That whisper needs to be so familiar your brain stops questioning it. Study, Carnegie Mellon 2022. Repeated pairings of cues and behavior increase speed of activation by 63%. Want to move without thinking? Train the cue, not the command. Let your system tell you what to do before your brain has time to argue. Because the longer you leave a task untriggered, the heavier it gets. But when the cue is sharp, starting feels like following, not fighting. Don't chase action. Embed the signal. Once the signal becomes automatic, action becomes default. In Part 4, we'll build the world around that trigger, so it can't be missed. Part 4. Let the system run without you. Systems aren't built to impress you, they're built to replace your need to decide. Because the more you decide, the faster you burn out. A real system starts where your energy ends and takes over when your willpower disappears. That's not weakness. That's smart architecture. Think of your brain like a CEO. It shouldn't micromanage. It should delegate. A checklist, a timer, a repeating alert, those are your real teammates. Study, Carnegie Mellon 2020. Repeating triggers increased habit consistency by 47%, even without emotional motivation. That's because emotion fluctuates, but structure scales. If you have to think to begin, you've already delayed the start. So, design the system to click itself on without needing a thought. Example, set a 10 a.m. work session tied to Wi-Fi auto on, or trigger a journal habit by scanning a QR code taped to your coffee mug. Don't rely on grit, rely on gravity. You shouldn't have to push the system should pull you in. Most people design reminders, but high performers design environments. Study, University of Toronto 2022, environmental anchors outperformed reminders in behavior retention by 63%. What does that mean? Don't just set a goal, set a scene. Example, writing happens at your standing desk, with lo-fi music always playing. No emotion, no debate. Just walk in, and the behavior loads. The brain is lazy, but it loves automation. Make your workspace so default, your body moves without instructions. Study, MIT Human Dynamics Lab 2021. Spatial repetition triggers behavior without need for goal consciousness. You don't need motivation to move. You just need a system that starts moving for you. Because when the system moves without your help, you've built leverage. And the next step is using that leverage to train your identity, not just your actions. Part 5. Your system starts here. Systems don't start by inspiration. They start by default. If your default is scroll, you'll scroll. If it's move, you'll move. So today, you rebuild that default, one signal at a time. First, choose one micro action to begin every session. It could be placing your hand on the table or saying now. Repeat it every time, until your body knows this is go. Second, design your space to invite motion, not delay. Move distractions out of reach. Put your tools in arm's length. Light your workspace. Open one document. No tabs, no clutter. Third, automate your start routine. Make it so repeatable, it feels boring. When it's boring, it's working. When it's automatic, it's unbreakable. Fourth, set one visual trigger near your workspace. A sticky note, a symbol, a word, something that says, no excuses. And finally, don't wait to feel ready. Just win the first 10 seconds. That's all your system needs to shift from idle to engaged. Don't build a perfect day, build an unmissable start. And in the next video, we'll show you how to make that start run without you. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you showing up, and I'll see you in the next one.